So I'm gonna be reading an article. This is more like an interview to a director of horror films called Malcolm Turvey. It's called "Why Do We Like Horror Movies?" As countless people head to theaters to see Michael Myers terrorize Laurie Strode in the 11th installment of the Halloween series, or load up the DVD player with classics like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Psycho, and Silence of the Lambs, it's worth considering that horror movies aren't just highlight of the month of October. In fact, they're a mainstay of cinema, going all the way back to Frankenstein and Dracula in the earliest days of talkies in the 1930s, and German expressionist films like Nosferatu in the silent era. But why are people so eager to watch monsters and murderers stalk through haunted houses and jump out of dark corners? Come to think of it, what makes a horror movie? Malcolm Turvey, director of films and media studies program and a professor whose courses have included one called The Horror Film, has answers, and a list of flicks that will will scare your socks off, make your skin crawl, and teach you a thing or two about the human condition in the process. This is a quote. Horror is a genre that people tend to look down upon and not take very seriously. It has a reputation of being low, somewhat trashy, tithe-laden genre that appeals to our basest instincts, Darby said. But it's a wonderful popular art form through which very complex ideas and creative techniques can manifest themselves. And if you can get past that very cliched view, you realize there's an embarrassment of riches in the genre. What makes a horror movie a horror movie? There are many different theories according to Turvey. Some theories argue that for a work to be classified as horror, it has to have a monster which has to be threatening in some way, shape, or form. Turvey said the monster is often otherworldly or violates the laws of nature, as in Alien or Jaws. But some argue that human character can be a monster, as in Psycho or Silence of the Lamb, and Halloween. In these cases, the human typically has superpowers. Hannibal Lecter seems to be able to read minds and pull off impossible escapes, while Michael Myers can disappear and often return after being shot, beheaded, or set on fire in the previous film. When you start looking at human monsters, they're often thinly disguised supernatural beings who actually only have the appearance of a human being, Turvey said. Uh, no matter what the monster looks like, many argue that it must have one key characteristic which distinguishes it from monsters of other genres such as sci-fi. Horror is a genre in which disgust is central as an emotion. Thorby said, a lot of monsters are designed to be explicitly or implicitly disgusting. That said, there are many scary films, like The Blair Witch Project or The Haunting, for example, which never clearly establish that there's a monster, but are commonly considered as part of the genre. Works like that trade of ambiguity about what's going on, Turvey said, perhaps a better way of thinking about horror, and indeed all genres, is that there are cases that are central to the genre and borderline cases that fit in some ways and not others. Uh, so, yeah, that's it. This is for the activity Integrative Product Model 2, and thank you.